It was something that you would expect to see in the worst communist dictatorship style evil country. We were witnessing it here in Sydney.
So we've covered Australia before. I went through the lockdowns with you. I showed you the press conference where you heard it from their own mouths, as to their officials' mouths, as to what they were planning to do, what kind of draconian lockdowns they were doing, how disturbing that press conference was, and some of the things that they were sort of bragging about like slapping people with $7,000 fines and forcing them to go home and not taking the excuse from them that they were exercising, which they're supposed to be allowed to do for 1 hour a day. So now I've been looking for some testimony from people on the ground rather than these officials, because the officials frankly creep me out, and the whole thing was a little crazy. Some people are saying that they're overreacting because they weren't able to get the vaccination out fast enough. Other people are saying there's no reason for them to be acting this way at all. The woman in the video I'm about to show you is claiming that in her town, which is Bankstown, Canterbury Bankstown, and I'll show you the numbers that are in her area. They're right now, the total tests, and I got this from an Australian website. They have an interactive map that you can go to. I just looked up where she was saying she's from, and she mentions Bankstown police twice. So we've got her pegged in Bankstown, which is listed in black on their website, and it's showing 1,159,841 total tests have been done in that area. There have been 2,255 active cases. So, I mean, not deaths, okay? So, and this is what gets me, is they're not deaths. So, look, these stats are not worse than the height of the pandemic over last summer anyway. And we never went through anything like they're going through now. So, and frankly, they've been now doing this for some 9, 10, 12 weeks, and nothing is getting better in the areas that were a problem before. What gets me and what I don't understand is how they're doing this based on cases and not on deaths. If people aren't dying and they're just getting sick, why? I mean, at the time that they did that press conference, out of their own mouths, they said they had about 60 people roughly in the last 2 months, 2.5 months.
The COVID-related deaths to 65 since June 16.
To put this in perspective, depending on at what point in the future you might be watching this video is being put out about 2 months after June 16th. 60 people in 2.5 months from a pandemic is not, I mean, it's somewhat concerning. Like, you don't want to do nothing, but you don't need to totally destroy and steal the freedoms of your people and treat them in the way that this woman is about to describe. So, so I've given you the cases. Now, she's claiming 3/4 of her small town have been vaccinated. I don't have any way to validate that. So now I was able to validate about 38 to 40% of Australia has been vaccinated. So if they're a town that's in the black and they've just mandated vaccines, then it would lend some credence to what she's saying for her small, area, because they're mandated there. So everyone's got to get them. If they're not at 3/4 vaccinated, certainly they will be soon. If they literally have police showing up and kind of forcing people to do this. So her point is, they don't have a choice but to comply. So they're doing everything that Australia is asking them to do. They don't have a choice. There are police out in the streets every day. They are literally in a military state right now in Australia. And the reason this matters to you is because these people yesterday, and when I say yesterday, I mean right before this happened, believed that they were free. They believed that this could never happen to them. They believed that these things could never go down this way. And they've been infected with the same Marxist principle that the United States has been infected with, just not for as long a time. We're a lot bigger fish to reel in than Australia. But they've been infected with the same mindset that she's asking. Where are all these equality people? Where are they? Where are they? Where are our religious leaders? Where is everyone? You'll hear it from her, and let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and hear it from her.
So yesterday, on the 9th of September, at approximately 4:45, a young man and his pregnant wife were in Bass Hill Plaza here in southwest Sydney. The young man wasn't wearing a mask, so he got absolutely ragdolled, body slammed, treated like an animal by the Bankstown police officers that were there. They treated him like a criminal, despite the begging and pleading of his wife and those that were with them, telling the police officers that he is ill, he is sick, he's epileptic, he's got a heart condition. Whilst handcuffed, this young man had a seizure or a medical episode where he became unconscious, and they kept him in handcuffs, refused to call the ambulance. It was something that you would expect to see in the worst communist dictatorship style evil country. We were witnessing it here in Sydney. Thing is, we're witnessing a lot here in southwest Sydney, but the rest of Australia seems to just want to turn a blind eye and pretend we're not freaking here. But we're here. We're here. We're here in southwest Sydney, and we are suffering. We are being treated like peasants. Like we are less than the rest of Australia and the rest of New South Wales. We're being treated like lepers. It's a matter of sick until proven healthy. And even then, even when proven healthy, you're still peasants. You're still lepers. Stay the hell away from society. Even those who have conformed and complied. Even those who have gone against their will, against their best wishes, against informed consent, and gone and got double jabbed because Gladys placed a rule on southwest Sydney that if you want to work outside of southwest Sydney and you're from southwest Sydney, you got to get the jab. A lot of them had to. They've been stuck at home for long enough, unable to put food on the table, which has been ignored. Mental health ignored. Childhood depression ignored. All of the possible mental and emotional breakdowns and all the negative things you could think of that could possibly come from these lockdowns, we are immersed and drowning in them here in southwest Sydney. Ignored. Even the mayors of southwest Sydney who reached out to Gladys, who wanted to convey this message to her that the people of southwest Sydney are suffering. There's got to be some kind of end game here, like we've got to give the people some hope. No, she ignored them too. So what, are we just going to pretend southwest Sydney isn't there? Are we just going to pretend southwest Sydney is a cancer and we need to amputate it and get rid of it? Like, what are we actually doing here? Why is everyone so silent? This is tyranny. This is oppression. We are being treated like we're less than human. It's not that we're not conforming and complying with the restrictions, because we are. We've got a bloody police officer at every bloody corner. We could not comply if we tried, right? Because even having a mask under your nose warrants you getting ragdolled and body slammed here in southwest Sydney. All whilst Bronte Beach, Cronulla Beach, Bondi Beach, packed to the rafters, no masks in sight, freedom. And it's less than half an hour away from us, right? So, like, I just want to understand, where are all the human rights activists? Where are all the, equality activists and all? Where are you all? Where are you all? Because when we want to speak out against for our freedoms, we get abused physically by the authorities, the very people that are meant to be protecting us. I'm a single mother. I had the audacity to attend a peaceful assembly in Bankstown about 2 months ago, I would say now. I got arrested twice just for that one occasion, 2 times, for having the audacity to attend a peaceful assembly in Bankstown when we were placed under these restrictions and harsh lockdowns. I had the audacity to attend a peaceful assembly, got arrested twice for it. I have the police every other day at my front doorstep, every other day without fail, at least 2 times a week. My kids witness this. Does anybody care? Does anybody care how all this stuff is affecting our children? If we had actual community leaders that spoke on our behalf, would we feel the need to gather and go to protests and go to these marches and demand our freedoms? If we had the people that should be speaking up speak up for us, we would not feel that we're not being heard. But even then, when our government officials, our locals, the mayors and so on wanted to reach out to you, Gladys, you rejected them. You left them on red. You didn't want to talk to them. They're not good enough for you. They're from Southwest Sydney. They're from Southwest Sydney. They're not worth it. They're peasants. And our community leaders, our sellout religious leaders, they're all on the payroll. So they're all incentivized to keep their mouth shut and sit back and watch the destruction of their communities, because that is exactly what's happening to Southwest Sydney. Let's not pretend otherwise. We are being segregated. We are being harshly treated. There's one rule for Southwest Sydney and a complete rule for the rest of freaking New South Wales. This isn't shit I'm coming up with or making up. These are things that Gladys so happily and proudly and brazenly says every day at 11 o'clock when she's hanging out with her mates. She's allowed to address Australia amongst all her counterparts every day at 11. That's not a risk. But when a single mother from Greenacre wants to do it at a peaceful assembly, I get taken to jail and put on bail conditions. I get silenced. I get censored. I get threatened and intimidated every other day by the police at my doorstep. So from one ethnic mother from Greenacre, Gladys, to another ethnic mother from Manly, Gladys, how do you look at your children every day? How? Knowing you are oppressing so many other children that look like them. How? Is it because the power's got into your head? You're immersed? You're getting your kicks off with all this power, this invincibility? Is that what it is? Whatever it is, glad bags. I don't know if you believe in God. But this will catch up to you. As big as you may feel, God is bigger. And this tyranny and the oppression and the hardship and the bigotry and the discrimination you are inflicting on these people, it'll catch up to you. No authority and no premiership and no nothing you can think of will protect you. You have destroyed many lives, and that will catch up to you, Gladys. God is watching. And to my people from Southwest Sydney, stay strong. We're being oppressed, but we know God's on our side. And as hard as it is, to every dark night, as the beautiful Tupac says, to every dark night there is a bright day. And we are going through hardship, but verily with hardship comes ease. And we will come out stronger. Hold the line. Every dog will get their day. Nothing will be forgotten. Nothing will be forgotten. This is all being recorded. Nothing gets dismissed with the Almighty. And their evil is being extended for whatever reason, but we will know the wisdom behind it. And we have God on side. So chin up, Southwest Sydney, we've got this.
So again, if you know of any videos of Aussies speaking out and giving some detail about what's going on in their day-to-day lives, it would definitely be valuable. And we will definitely report on it and put it out there. So, you know, this was one. I think she was very detailed. It went on a little long, but I think what she was saying was impactful and it matters. And you know, look, these lockdowns, they're taking over, they've basically stolen the rights of their people over cases, not deaths, over cases. And cases, you know, telling people we don't want you to get sick and telling people we don't want you to die are two different things. And even, you know, again, they don't have the protections we have, but they didn't see this coming, folks. And that's the point that I want to make. These federal governments across the world, our own included, have grown to places that are just disturbing. And every single time in history that a government has usurped its people, it's done so under the guise of safety and protecting them. So whether, you know, again, this is something you should be on high alert for, because the Australian people are being locked down and abused right now, physically beaten. We showed you the girl, that the 12-year-old that they sprayed with pepper spray. It's not okay. This stuff is not okay. Just because it's not in the United States doesn't mean it's okay. I could use this opportunity to explain Convention of States again, but I'm going to go ahead and pass on that. We just put out 3 episodes on that, so we're going to let that go for now. But be aware, people. Pay attention to what's going on in the world. It matters. It reflects on us directly. All right. I'm out.